take a look at the 0Z GFS Model Run at 1 p.m. this afternoon. We have a trough axis moving in from the north and west with a ridge to our south and east, a bit of energy. And at the surface, some showers along the front. And where the showers are, temperatures will be quite cool. Highs there may not even make it out of the 60s, while south and east may make it into the 80s and maybe even 90 in far southeast Iowa. Thursday looks rainy and raw for most of the state. Could clear in the northwestern counties early in the day and see highs in the 70s. Otherwise, 60s for highs for most of the day. Friday looks fairly calm with high pressure overhead, and temperatures will be in the 70s mostly across the state. But looking at these temperatures, this is from the NAM Friday morning, and you can see we could see lows in the low 40s, maybe a few upper 30s in the cooler valley locations, but it'll quickly warm up with the dry air involved. And heading into the weekend, Saturday looks pretty good. Temperatures seasonal, maybe a skosh above that. So no problems for any football games this weekend, both Friday night and Saturday. Sunday still looks okay. Temperatures in the 70s to lower 80s with a bit of rain to our south as the Gulf begins to open up in that area, but another plunge of cold air coming from the north and west brings some showers and maybe a crack of thunder or so here for the early part of next week. And the cold weather coming in behind this is going to be much colder than the stuff coming in a couple days. So much so that by Tuesday we could have an upper level low and we could have temperatures stuck in the 50s for highs if this is right, if we get enough clouds and maybe a few showers around. So we'll have to wait and see. And a week from today, that trough takes over about the eastern 2/3 to 3/4 of the country, a ridge pumping up along the west coast of Canada and the United States, and cold air is just going to dump into the east. Temperatures maybe 10 to maybe 15 degrees below average. A fairly big windstorm in the eastern and central Great Lakes and the east coast with cooler conditions here. A couple days later on the 23rd, we still have a trough over pretty much the eastern half of the country. It's a bit zonal from the middle part of the country south, the ridge pumping up over western Canada. That's still continuing to dump Arctic weather southward toward the U.S.-Canadian border with a little bit of rain, maybe some flurries near the U.S.-Canadian border, mainly in Canada. A couple of days later at the end of the forecast on the 27th, the flow becomes a little bit more zonal, main storm track back to our north, but the heights are down as we're heading further into the month of September. So temperatures will probably be seasonal, maybe in the 70s, with some slightly windy conditions from the south and west and clear skies abounding. Looking at the satellite image from last evening, you can see this front that will bring the first wave of cold air with a couple of clouds and a few showers across the plains and into the central Rockies of Colorado and Wyoming. Elsewhere clear. The watch warning map from last evening shows frost advisories in North Dakota, some freeze warnings in the northwest, frost advisories in Maine and New Hampshire, and elsewhere it's fairly quiet at this time. And here's the QPF chart, rainfall for the next 5 days through Sunday evening at 7 o'clock, showing some decent amounts of rain with this storm, maybe upwards of 3/4 of an inch to an inch of rain with some heavier amounts further to the south into Oklahoma and Texas.